Today, we are checking out SCP Explained, a modern introduction to the SCP Foundation. I've seen a lot of people saying don't support the animation SCP stuff. I don't understand why, but okay. And they want me to watch this video specifically. So we're going to watch this video. Hopefully it's very entertaining. And if you enjoy this video, click the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's get it.
So, you stumbled upon or heard about a thing called SCP, and you're wondering what it's all about. This guide has all the information you need to know about what the SCP Foundation is.
I like the little
and what it has to offer you.
VHS-y
Think of it as the ultimate primer to the universe, and the wiki as it is and should be seen today.
Okay.
This guide is split up into 3 sections, and they are as follows. Number 1, the basics. An introduction to the SCP Foundation and wiki, covering the SCP format, object classes, in-universe lore about the Foundation, and important vocabulary, and why it all matters.
Okay.
Number 2, in-universe elements. This covers some background information and a lot of commonly used terms that might leave a new reader lost or confused.
Okay.
Number 3, things to read and do. A tour of the entire SCP universe, covering all modes of writing and different kinds of pieces that you can read. From -Js to EXs, 001 proposals to groups of interest, tales, and canons. There's a lot more than just the SCP series.
Okay, interesting.
Okay, let's get started. The basics.
The basics.
Operating clandestine and worldwide, the Foundation operates beyond jurisdiction, empowered and entrusted by every major national government with the task of containing anomalous objects, entities, and phenomena. These anomalies pose a significant threat to global security by threatening either physical or psychological harm.
The G's kind of look
Introduction.
like nines.
The SCP Foundation is a
Right? The G's. You look at the G's here. They kind of look like nines.
collaborative writing platform centering around a fictional foundation, a scientific and military organization that seeks to protect humanity and the status quo by locating and containing anomalies, objects, life forms, events, locations.
Dude, that's one of the interesting things. An anomalous event, an anomalous concept. That's cool as fuck, bro. That's just, how creative are you to be able to come up with an anomalous concept, an anomalous event? And how do you even contain those things?
Concepts, creations, and phenomena that, in one way or another, violate natural law. On the SCP Wiki, authors tell stories and explore ideas within this urban fantasy science fiction universe, creating rich pieces of writing that take place in a world where the anomalous exists and how people and organizations interact with them. These articles may showcase the different types of phenomena that might exist in this universe, the SCPs themselves, or tell compelling narratives about life and interactions within the SCP world, tales, canons, and groups of interest formats.
Now, those things are the things I'm most interested in when it comes to SCP. I don't know how like super interested I am in like just reading documents. Like, I don't know if that's really like where I'd find interest, but stories. I love stories, you know, an interesting story. So a tale, a canon, whatever, group of interest format, whatever, I don't know, but a compelling narrative, especially in video format, with like showing me it as well. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I've really enjoyed the ones that I've watched so far. And I've been hesitant to watch videos that are just text, because that's reading. And reading, I'm stupid. You see all these books on my shelf? I haven't read any of them. That's not true. I've read like 100 of them. There's over 1,000. So, you know what I mean? It's like, I ain't a reader, bro. I'm too stupid. I'm too stupid to read things. So I watch video because I stupid.
The central focus of the SCP Wiki is the SCP file, commonly referred to as just an SCP.
Okay.
It is a set of in-universe technical documentation supposedly compiled by the Foundation in an effort to understand, analyze, experiment with, and most importantly, contain the anomaly. The SCP file is, in effect, a form of constrained writing, an immersive way to tell a story about the nature and history of an anomalous object or entity, whether directly or by hinting at some greater idea. Each SCP is given a unique serial
And some
number or
SCP would
designation.
make great movies,
And
too.
on the wiki, you can browse SCPs with designations ranging from 1 to 3,999. They are organized into 4 numerical series. Series 1, SCP-1 through to 999. Series 1 was written from 2007 to 2011. Series 2.
Interesting. So there literally are SCPs all the way from 1 to 999?
SCP-1000 through to SCP-1999. Series 2 was written from 2011 to 2013. Series 3, SCP-2000 through to SCP-2999. Series 3 was written from 2013 to 2017. And Series 4, SCP-3000 through to SCP-3999. It is still being written, but it started in 2017. The SCP format. An SCP file has a very specific format that, in general, must be strictly adhered to. SCPs are the backbone of the entire franchise. These documents are the set pieces of the universe, showcasing its tone, stories, and possibilities. The basic format of an SCP is as follows. Item number, SCP hyphen, then the number. Object class, then a category name.
Okay.
Special containment procedures, then a detailed summary of all specific means needed to make sure the anomaly is safely contained. Description, then a technically written documentation of all things that the anomaly is, does, and can do. And finally, supplements, optional additional files added onto the base document. Each SCP is given an object class based on the degree of containment difficulty. Here are the primary object classes.
I've been introduced to the classes already.
Safe. The anomaly can be contained by simply leaving it alone. No special procedures, methods, or events are necessary to keep it from damaging the world. This does not necessarily mean it's not dangerous.
That we were
A
introduced
safe class object can be world-threatening if not contained, but it's just really easy to contain them. Some notable examples of safe class SCPs are SCP-1981, SCP-2579, SCP-993, SCP-1425, and SCP-3039. All examples will be in the video description.
Okay, cool.
Next, Euclid. The anomaly is inherently
so we were
unpredictable
introduced to classes.
or requires
Okay.
some amount of special effort to be contained. You're not quite sure what will happen if you leave it alone, and it might be a little bit more complex than a safe class entity, object, or phenomenon. Some notable examples of Euclid class SCPs are SCP-426, SCP-1171, SCP-3001,
So these are examples of Euclids.
and SCP-1609. And finally, Keter. These SCPs are really difficult to contain, requiring a huge expenditure of resources or extensively complex containment procedures. The most dangerous of phenomena are classed as Keter, often, but not always, posing an existential threat to humanity, the world, or universal structure itself. Some notable examples of Keter-class SCPs are SCP-1739, SCP-231, SCP-2935, SCP-2293, and SCP-3200. In addition, there are a number of esoteric and secondary classes that are used much less than the big three that I just mentioned, but still serve important purposes. Thaumiel. This is a very rare object class only known to the highest levels of the Foundation. In essence, Thaumiel class objects are anti-Keter. They are used in the containment or counteracting of other SCPs. They act as powerful
I feel like
tools to be
we
used
learned
by
about
the
this in the first
Foundation,
video I watched.
which normally rarely uses anomalies. Some notable examples of Thaumiel class SCPs are SCP-2000, SCP-2003, SCP-3000, SCP-179, and SCP-3031. And finally,
Now, I wish we went into detail on
neutralized.
all of them.
It used to be anomalous, now it's not. Maybe it just stopped working on its own. Maybe someone accidentally or purposefully destroyed it. Either way, it no longer has functional anomalous properties.
Oh,
some notable examples of
interesting.
neutralized class SCPs are SCP-1470, SCP-2682, SCP-3519, SCP-1762, and SCP-2420.
Oh, is the short version and the longer version he went into detail? Yeah.
If you want
this
to
video is
stop
already
watching
30
this
minutes
guide
long.
now and start diving into the wiki, this is a good time to do so. But be sure to finish this guide if you're unsure of anything. Maybe you can pick one from the links from the description and then follow the cross-links and navigation in the article. Maybe you can go to a series page. I highly recommend series 2 and 3, and just click on one with an intriguing title. Or you could roll the dice and press random SCP. One of the best ways to learn about the Foundation is to discover for yourself all the genres, emotions, and ideas it can evoke, to keep that sense of mystery and gritty realism. There's still a lot to learn about the culture and vocabulary and universe of the site. You can find out and learn by yourself just by reading as much as you can. Playing it by ear, it's pretty fun that way. Or if you'd like to get a better handle on everything that's going on and a few more ways to drop you into the community, stay tuned. I still have a lot to show you.
Okay.
Next up, in-universe elements. Foundation structure and protocol. Security clearance represents how much information about an object you're allowed to know. If you've read through an SCP or two, you're bound to have seen these. Data expunged, redacted, or the text completely blacked out. These keywords are common hallmarks and tools of narrative of the SCP Wiki, signifying that the information has been classified to a higher clearance or has been cleansed completely. It adds an element of horror through absence that is classic to the SCP fandom. For a great example of how security clearance levels can be used, read SCP-2317. There are also many types of workers in the Foundation. Among them, we have containment specialists, researchers, and security tactical response officers. There are field agents, who are out in the world undercover, looking for signs of anomalous activity, and mobile task forces, special units that are assigned to carry out certain dangerous jobs. The task forces document contains a list of mobile task forces along with their associated SCPs. The Foundation is
and the
usually
amount of information that anyone is allowed to know,
and so their
it
bases
varies
are found
depending on their
across the
position
globe,
within the Foundation.
and sometimes outside of it. These bases can be sites or areas. For more information, read Secure Facilities Locations. The leaders of individual areas or sites are high-ranking Level 4 researchers known as Site Directors.
Site Directors
there are a few in the Foundation that rank higher than Site Director.
Site Directors are in charge of each individual site.
And they are the O5 Council, the ultimate leaders of the entire Foundation.
Those are the big
dogs. The Overseer Council, abbreviated to O5, is a group of 13 people who manage all Foundation operations worldwide and have complete access to all information, redacted or not.
Oh, because they're level 5 clearance.
Their identities are classified for safety, and they are only referred to by their ID, 051 through 13. In addition, some versions of canon also include the existence of an administrator, the creator of the Foundation. Finally, one of the most interesting parts of the Foundation are D-Class personnel, or Class Ds. The canon around D-Class personnel helps showcase the colder and more morally gray side of the Foundation. In order to experiment with and contain SCPs, the Foundation needs lab rats to test things with.
And that's your D-Class.
The D-Class. Oftentimes, they are recruited from death row or the prison population, serving as expendable personnel that are used to handle hazardous anomalies. In the early days of the site, a common headcanon was that all D-Class were executed at the end of the month. However, this idea has gone out of fashion as the site has evolved. For more interesting stories about Class D personnel, try reading entries from the D-Class contest.
Oh, that's cool.
Terms to know. The SCP Wiki has created a wide set of terminology and new innovations, inventing concepts that are unique to the premise of the site and found nearly nowhere else in literature.
Oh, that's sick. I love
these terms before you dive in.
That's awesome.
Anomalous classifications. Memetic, or meme. A meme is any unit of information that can spread and transfer its...
Really? Meme? They had to make that?
A meme is any unit of information that can spread and transfer itself throughout society. Memetic effects deal with how the brain understands and reacts to media. It is a piece of data in the subject's mind that has an anomalous effect on that subject's physical or mental state that is spread when someone else becomes aware of the same information. In particular, anomalous memetic agents are bits of hazardous information that are like a mental virus, triggering anomalous reactions in people who are exposed to them. Anti-memetic or anti-meme. An anti-meme is the opposite of a meme. It has self-censoring properties. Anomalous anti-memes are perfectly mentally camouflaged, whether by making you unable to hold your perception of one in your short-term memory or making you unable to comprehend the concept of its existence.
That's fucking cool.
Cognitohazard. A cognitohazard is something that is dangerous when we perceive it with one of the 5 senses. For example, a sound that causes you to bleed from every pore, or a smell that causes you to go insane. All memetic effects are a subset of cognitohazards, as in order to process the information, you have to sense it.
That's cool.
Infohazards are anomalous effects that trigger when the SCP is described, referred to, or acknowledged. You don't even have to sense the thing to be affected by an infohazard. You just have to know that it exists.
Yeah, you just got to learn about it and
about the anomaly and people that are made aware of the existence of the effect.
Yeah.
Ontokinetic or reality bender. An ontokinetic being can manipulate the laws of reality, magic.
Oh shit, that's cool. Listen, I love reality warping, reality bending stuff. That's fucking dope. I find it so cool. I find it to be a super cool superpower, so anything in relation to it is very
through anomalous means. Groups of interest contain and study reality benders, often in unethical ways, creating some moral crises for the Foundation.
They can warp reality.
Anart, or an artist. Anart is short for anomalous art. Many people and groups aware of the existence of reality-breaking phenomena choose to explore it by creating often surrealist art with extra-normal properties. These people being called anartists. Narrativic or pataphysical. A narrativic anomaly
narrativic and pataphysical
manifests itself within works of fiction.
Yo, who comes up with these words, bro?
Often affecting the content of the work involved by creating characters, changing the setting, or blurring the line between fiction and the reality. The pataphorical or pataphysical SCP explores narrativic anomalies using the wiki itself as the narrative. It explores the idea of characters we write on the website attempting to communicate and manipulate us, and being aware of things on the website like author pages, deletions, and discussion forums. Technology and engineering. Scranton Reality Anchor. Scranton Reality Anchors are technological devices used by the Foundation to essentially regulate consensus reality. They cancel out or prevent the effects of reality-bending entities and anchor down areas where the level of unreality is higher or lower than normal,
that's sick.
So that it matches the reality that we know and inhabit. Many
it's a way
to
counter reality warping
SRAs as a catch-all for containing any type of structural or ontokinetic effect.
Whoa.
Telekill. The SRA back in the old days. Except the problem was worse. In its original form, it was a metal that blocked all mind-affecting or compulsive effects. People went crazy over it and started using it in all their containment procedures, and mistakenly thought it also blocked memetic effects. Scranton's rewrite of the article added some nuances and drawbacks to it, and its usage had fallen by the wayside anyway, as people have become more innovative with writing. Humes. a unit of measurement that measures the intensity of reality present in an area. Crucial to understanding
The
how
intensity
SRAs
of reality present in an area. Damn.
and other technologies work. They are useful in quantifying how powerful reality-bending effects are relative to each other. K-class scenario, a term used to classify possible apocalypse scenarios, which the Foundation deals with on a daily basis when discussing the possible outcomes of dangerous effects or entities. The most common
some
type
entities are just
is XK class, which describes a conventional destruction of the planet scenario.
Yep.
There are multiple minor ones whose exact definitions in canon are being argued over, including CK class, the restructuring of a reality, AK class, humanity goes crazy, SK class, the dominant species on Earth is no longer humans, and ZK class, reality universal failure.
Damn.
Amnestic,
Reality
Mind
universal
wipe drugs.
failure.
a narrative tool
this
used by
is
authors to explain
very
A, how the Foundation is able to keep the
common.
masquerade of secrecy, and B, to create stories
Amnestics.
dealing with memory and knowledge. In universe, these are simply chemicals that erase a normal human's memory of some amount of time. When the Foundation has to recover an anomaly in the real world, or seriously messes up, these are used.
Yeah. Also to keep things on a hush
Things
hush,
to read
they're used.
and do. There's more to the wiki than the SCP series. In this section, I open the door to the other areas of the site that are part of the Foundation universe, as well as answer some common questions about key but confusing parts of the site. What is SCP-1? In the early days of the site, when the wiki was just getting started, there was some debate over what should be this sacred number. 1. Everyone agreed that it had to be incredibly written. Everyone agreed that it had to be big, something deserving of the very first spot. But nobody could agree who should do the honor of writing it. The answer? Everyone can write their own vision of SCP-1. Thus, the system of proposals, an author's individual idea of number 1. They vary wildly and contradict each other. On the number 1 hub page, it says that the quote real number 1 is so secret that a number of false ones have been created. This explanation allows there to be
I like that. That's cool. A bunch of these fake number ones have been created. There's probably a legitimate number 1 amongst the fakes. But because there is no actual nailed down specific number 1, you don't know which one it is.
multiple self-contradictory number 1s. One of them could be the true one to you.
What I just said.
Or maybe you want a couple to be canonical at the same time. Maybe all of them are fake. Maybe all of them are true. It all depends on your canon and how much you like a given proposal. In effect, SCP-1 proposals are canon builders. Each one sets the tone for a particular author's vision of the Foundation itself. Creating an SCP-1 proposal is as easy as writing it and then submitting it just like any other SCP. Although, unless you're incredibly experienced, it will most likely get rejected by the community and deleted. As of November 2017, 19 SCP-1 proposals have been successfully posted. Each one is the product of a lot of work and a high concept. Here are 6 of the 19. Number 1. Dr. Clef's proposal. The Foundation was established to prepare humanity for the rapture or apocalypse. SCP-1 is the angel guarding Eden.
Kinda cool.
Number 2. Dr. Mann's proposal. The first and only natural anomaly was a spiral path in New York. A group of ambitious scientists experimented with reality using this as the thread and created every single other anomaly in the database. Number 3. S. Andrew Swan's proposal. The SCP Foundation is aware of its fictionality. They are currently discussing ways to kill their authors.
Okay.
Number 4. Rojit's proposal. Keter-class anomalies are an inherent part of the universe and can be contained using each other. By releasing all Keter-class anomalies, the universe can be manually restructured.
Damn.
Number 5. Twisted Gear's Cactus Proposal. SCP-1 is one manifestation of the mechanical god worshipped by a clockwork cult, which wreaked havoc on the world before the military destroyed it.
Cool.
And finally, number 6. Kaladin's Proposal. Humanity was originally a slave race whose suffering was harvested to create utopia on another planet. We escaped and then tried to cloak ourselves. The cloak failed, and our masters are trying to bring us home.
Okay.
It's my personal suggestion that you don't start with SCP-1.
Yeah,
the proposals
I
are
get
usually quite complex and require some knowledge of Foundation lore, which is either played with, expanded on, or subverted. Read conventional SCPs before you take the number 1 deep dive.
19 of them,
Special
though.
classifications. -EX.
Yeah, I like that Scarlet King one. That
and
was really cool.
ARC.
When we learned about it the other...
There are other types of documents that use the basic SCP format and style, but utilized in a different way. This allows different stories with more diverse tones and themes to be told. The SCP-EX classification designates an SCP that is no longer considered anomalous. It is explained. The object or phenomenon in question still exists, but the Foundation has deemed it to be an acceptable part of consensus reality. Or it was a giant fake-out, or it turned out to be just a new scientific discovery. An SCP-J is a joke SCP, a parody SCP, in a sense. Joke SCPs are explicitly non-canon, using the SCP format to joke around or make fun of something for the benefit of the reader. They may riff on in-universe tropes like overwrought security, over-the-top containment, cold posting, or bad original characters. Or they may parody things like food poisoning, bad drivers, easily angered people, or that one movie. They may even make fun of the elements in the other popular SCP canons. Ultimately, a joke SCP is just a way to make the reader laugh. If a joke SCP is not well written and very funny, it'll be downvoted. And finally, we have SCP-ARC, archived SCPs. These are usually legacy pages from the very old days of the site, when standards were low and the mass edit had not been conducted yet. While most of these SCPs were deleted, some of them needed to have text archives due to their usage in other tales or still existing SCPs, or because they were historically important. ARC is no longer in use since the opening of series.
That's really, really cool, though, right? That there are some that are kind of like a basis for other SCP because they're so they're the legacy of them. That's cool.
Series 2, 3, and 4. And you will most likely never need to read one of these.
Okay, maybe not as cool as I thought. I thought they were so important to the legacy of SCP that there's something you got to really know about. Maybe not.
Tales, canons, and collaborative logs. Tales are how the Foundation universe gets deepened and extended beyond the limits of the simple SCP file. It allows authors to tell stories where groups or people can interact with each other in the SCP universe, to expand on ideas already created in SCPs, or just, to write a prose. Some authors may also turn their tales into a series, usually if they have a cohesive idea in mind, or if it gets really popular. Notable series include There Is No Anti-Memetics Division, The Cool War, The Lombardi Tales, Tales of Mr. Collector, and Pitch Haven. You can find Tales in the top-rated Tales archive as submissions to a themed contest.
I think There Is No Anti-Memetics Division. That's the one that we're watching after this, right?
Finding recommendations. You can also, as we'll soon learn, read the tales in a canon. A canon is your own set of assumptions about the tone, setting, and dynamic of the universe. Each of the canons in the Canon Hub is a wildly different set of assumptions based off the baseline SCP Foundation. Think of them as mega tale hubs, or parallel universes, or self-contained cinematic universes for authors to play in. Here are 5 notable canons. Broken Masquerade, a world where the Foundation's existence is known by everyone. Resurrection, a deliberate attempt to resurrect the action-orientated SCP Dr. Crazy Days of Series 1, in which an MTF composed of anomalous humans is formed. Third Law, a pulpy sci-fi paratech world dominated by the machinations of Prometheus Labs and Anderson Robotics.
Okay.
Rat's Nest, the military killed God, and the Foundation is covering it up. Reality is slowly unraveling and falling apart.
Damn.
The Gulf.
Whoa. That'd be
Small-scale,
crazy.
poignant series set in the southern United States, usually having a restful, mysterious feel, and featuring religious symbolism and unconventional types of media.
Cool.
A number of pages on the site are tagged as collaborative. Collaborative logs or pages can be edited and added to by anyone, although some quality oversight still exists. This is a good way to get your creative chops and contribute whilst not taking the plunge of writing an SCP. The 3 main collaborative pages exist as lists of mini SCPs, very small-scale items or phenomena that don't need to have a narrative, but still need to be unique, appropriate, and interesting. They are,
Of course.
Log of Anomalous Items. The SCP Foundation has discovered a substantial number of items which are simply too useless to merit further attention. This document lists those items which have prompted some curiosity. Log of Extranormal Events. This page is to document anomalous events that have attracted the Foundation's interests, but occurred too
These
briefly
anomalous
for the
events
Foundation
just
to
seem
secure
so
or contain them.
intriguing.
And finally, Log of Unexplained Locations.
Unexplained
This page
locations.
is to be devoted to the documentation of low-threat anomalous locations which have been discovered by the SCP Foundation over the years. There are a number of other collaborative pages, usually SCP supplements or logs. Keep in mind that guidelines for contributions still apply though,
Of course.
and if your addition is
Can't
deemed
just
to be
throw some
below
random
standard,
bullshit in
it'll
there.
probably be removed.
Yep.
Groups of interest. The Foundation isn't the only fish in the anomalous sea. Other organizations, collective, and groups exist that utilize or create paranormal phenomena for their own purposes. Some are associates of the Foundation.
Why are there no movies or TV shows for like SCP? You know what I mean? Like, there's so many good, interesting ideas here. I think that some of these could make for extremely interesting movies.
Others are rivals to it. Many of them quietly pursue their own interests,
Groups of
while a
interest.
great many of them fall on the lines of good and or evil. The vast majority simply have a goal in mind that's somewhere in between. Here are 7 notable groups of interest. Are We Cool Yet? A collection of artists, usually producing surreal and disturbing works of art. Their pieces are
Disturbing?
designed to have maximum impact and are usually lethal in some way.
What the fuck?
The Chaos Insurgency, a rogue cell of the Foundation that uses terrorist means to steal and repurpose powerful anomalies to gain control over nations and conduct unethical experiments.
That's fucking cool, bro. These are cool things. I like these.
The Church of the Broken God, a widespread cult believing in a clockwork god who has broken into pieces all over the world.
This is that clockwork god for the
Dr.
001 proposal.
Wondertainment, an individual or company
Wondertainment.
that makes anomalous artifacts that are supposed to be children's toys. The Serpent's Hand, a small organization headquartered in an interdimensional library, believing in anomalous rites and the normalization of the paranormal and magical.
Whoa.
Marshall, Carter, and Dark, a corporation that buys and sells anomalous items for the benefit of the super rich.
That's cool. Like a black market
Global
sort of.
Occult Coalition, or the GOC, a massive military organization under control of the UN, using technology and force to destroy the extra-normal wherever they find it.
Damn.
Many groups also have their own form of documentation, similar to an SCP, and they are stories told from a different perspective than the Foundation. For more information, visit the Groups of Interest page, as well as the ongoing Groups of Interest overview and guide on the SCP Declassified subreddit. Beyond the main site. You can find stories and SCPs to read even beyond the classifications and places I've already detailed. In this final section, I present other outlets of writing associated or tied to the SCP Wiki that you can also look into. Firstly, a great place for you to discover lesser known but very well written tales and SCPs are in the Contest Archive. For example, SCP-1000, 2000, and 3000 contests all have SCPs themed around urban legends, sci-fi, and horror, respectively. You have the Short Works Contest, and the D-Class Contest mentioned earlier, and the History Contest for both Tales and SCPs. Then there are the gigantic, multi-part Mobile Task Force Contest and Groups of Interest Contest, and then the Dystopia and Reimagining Contests, and so forth. There's
Contests
so much to
have
find.
a lot.
The Wanderer's Library is set in the mysterious, ancient, magical Library of the Serpent's Hand.
Oh, the Serpent's Hand, we just talked about
pieces
that.
and poetry set in the SCP universe, but focused on evoking a sense of wonder, of the extraordinary and fantastical. Quote, a sense that there is a larger world beyond the one we know. In the world of the library, these wonders are hidden, but never truly far away. But never forget that this is a wilder world than our own, and it's never entirely safe either. And finally, we have the international foreign SCP branches. There's French SCPs, Russian SCPs, Japanese SCPs, and a whole bunch more. Each brand has their own set of SCPs, many of which have extremely creative and diverse ideas. If you're looking for more SCPs to read, this might be a place to find cool concepts. And if you don't know a foreign language, the main SCP-INT Wiki Hub has translations of some of them.
Cool.
This was entirely written by Reddit user Modulum83 over on the SCP Declassified subreddit. All links will be in the description. If you enjoyed it, give Modulum83 some praise in the comments section for writing something I couldn't write myself. I hope it answered most of your questions about who we are and what we do.
Let's go, Modulum83.
Good shit. Take a dive and become part of the universe and the community.
Cool. Awesome. That was nice. Good video. A lot of interesting stuff within SCP, man. There's so much to know, so much information. I like that a lot of the terms are broken down, and there are definitely interesting things to note from this video that I would want to look up, and I think a lot of people would. They would see some of these things, and they'd be like, that's an interesting concept. I kind of want to get into that, or that's I like this group that is brought up, or these specific types of additions to SCP. So whether it's like through maybe it's not specifically reading about an SCP, but instead reading about the stories of like D classes and stuff. Like there might not necessarily be an SCP that gets you into it, and instead it's more like interactions with SCPs by other people, by specific groups. So I just think that there's so many different avenues to go through getting into SCP and diving deeper. Yeah, there's just so many different ways you can get into it, and so many different ways you can navigate through all that is within SCP. There's just so much. Really cool. If you enjoyed the video, click the like button, subscribe to the channel. You know, we'll keep on checking out more SCP things. I don't know why people really dislike the animation ones. I understand that the animation's not good. I think most people understand that the animation and the animated ones are not good, but what's so bad about those? I don't get it. Does it go against the idea, the very idea of SCP by trying to animate and show people things because you're not supposed to see it? I don't really get it. So somebody break that down for me. I just like being able to like see an image. Even if the animation's shit, at least I get to see an image. I don't know, invokes more of a reaction from me. Because text will be like, okay, that's cool, but I'm reading. I don't know, but that's just me. I think other people could probably have like a massive reaction from just text, but I don't know. That's just me as a person. Again, I'm not a smart person. I'm a dumb person. If you enjoyed the video, click the like button, subscribe to the channel. Until next time, make sure you all keep it fresh. Peace.